Yo, what's good everyone? Today I'm going to be breaking down some of my favorite Nhl Dfs plays for this Thursday, January 11th slate. We got ourselves 13 games here tonight where I'm going to go through a couple of my favorite line stacks, some of my favorite individual plays, and then we'll wrap up the video with 3 low-priced options or sub 4K forward plays. With that being said, let's dive right into this. And we're going to kick things off here by highlighting the 13 games that we have on this slate tonight, showing you the money lines and over-unders. First set of games here, we got the Senators at Sabres, Ducks at Hurricanes, Oilers at Red Wings, Kings at Panthers, Maple Leafs at Islanders, and the San Jose Sharks taking on the Montreal Canadiens. Next set of games here, we got the Devils at Lightning, Kraken at Capitals, Canucks at Penguins, Blackhawks at Jets, Rangers at Blues, Flames at Coyotes, and the Boston Bruins taking on the Vegas Golden Knights. And then here's a quick little schedule update to wrap up this week. Nhl Dfs video here today, NFL Dfs video coming out tomorrow, breaking down my favorite tournament or GPP plays for that 3-game slate for the wildcard round on Sunday. With all that said, let's dive into a couple of line stacks that I like here for tonight. Now, with 13 games on this slate, 26 different teams to choose from, obviously a lot to love about this slate in general, a lot of high upside plays available to us, and I was actually going to highlight that first line for the Carolina Hurricanes here initially. I am going to talk about a Carolina stack later on in this video, so make sure you stay tuned for that. But I was looking at this first line for the Tampa Bay Lightning with Braden Point, Steven Stamkos, and Nikita Kucherov, and think they could fly under the radar here and be more of a contrarian play on this 13-game slate. And look, it's a very expensive stack here, don't get me wrong, but these 3 offer massive upside. They've combined for 63 goals, 84 assists in 42 games this year, essentially averaging 3.5 points per game as a line. All 3 play up on the Lightning #1 power play, so I love the strong correlation there. And that Lightning power play has been lethal this year, the 3rd best in the NHL, scoring at almost a 29% rate. And look, this Devils team is beat up right now. No Jack Hughes, no Dougie Hamilton, no Andre Palat, Siegenthaler's missing right now, so they're just really beat up, and I think that the Lightning could take advantage of that. Now, usually when I highlight a very expensive line stack like I just did, I followed up with a very cheap line stack, and tonight I like that second line for the Buffalo Sabres. Yeah, Cousins centering Quinn and Peterka, very affordable here, and these 3 have actually played very well together, even in the limited ice time that they had. I know Jack Quinn just got back from the IR not long ago, but since he has returned, these 3 actually rank first on the Sabres in both shot attempts per 60 minutes and expected goals per 60 minutes, and maybe that hasn't reflected as much on the score sheet as of late, so I do believe there's some positive regression coming their way. I love the correlation with all 3 playing on the #2 power play for the Buffalo Sabres, and you could argue it might even be the #1 power play tonight, being that they practiced with Rasmus Dahlin yesterday, and I just love the matchup at home tonight against the Senators team, a team that's allowed 3.64 goals per game, the 4th most in the NHL, with the league's 2nd worst penalty kill, hitting at just a 71.5% rate. Now, folks, before we dive into some of my favorite individual plays here, if you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, I would greatly appreciate that. I got hockey content coming out for you guys all year long. Alright, now diving into some of these individual plays here, we're going to kick it off at the forward position. As I mentioned earlier, 13 games, 26 different teams to choose from, a lot of elite options at the forward position tonight. Yeah, Connor McDavid, William Nylander, Matthew Tkachuk starting to find his game, Elias Pettersson's been playing lights out, but I wanted to highlight Sam Reinhart here of the Florida Panthers, priced at $7,400 tonight, playing at home against the Los Angeles Kings. He has truly been great all year long with 29 goals, 22 assists in 40 games. That includes 12 goals and 1 assist, 13 points in just his last 10 games. And really, the Florida Panthers are just rolling right now. They've won 8 straight games while scoring 4.5 goals per game during that stretch, with a power play scoring at a 32.5% rate. And they just so happen to catch this Kings team maybe playing their worst hockey of the season. They've now lost 6 straight games. Now, with this next play here, I think I've highlighted him in 4 or 5 straight games that he's played. That's Nikolai Ehlers of the Winnipeg Jets, priced at $6,800 tonight in a great matchup at home against the Chicago Blackhawks. Like I said last time, he's playing his best hockey as of late with 7 goals, 9 assists, 16 points in his last 13 games, has 47 shots on net during that stretch as well. The Chicago team is not afraid to give up goals, 3.71 goals per game allowed this year. That's the 2nd most in the NHL, while having the 6th worst penalty kill, hitting at just a 75% rate. And we're going to see Ehlers play up on that first line in #1 power play for the Jets Jets tonight. The next guy I got here then is Vinny Trocheck of the New York Rangers, priced at $6,200 tonight in a matchup on the road against the St. Louis Blues. You know, I name dropped Artemi Panarin when I first started talking about the forwards as an elite play here tonight. Well, Trocheck has really benefited from playing with Panarin this year, but don't get me wrong, he's been very good in his own as well. 12 goals, 28 assists, 40 points in 39 games, averaging a point per game so far this year. You can see he's played particularly well here as of late with 4 goals, 7 assists, 11 points in just his last 5 games, playing on that second line and number 1 power play for the Rangers. Now, earlier in the video when I was going through those line stacks, I mentioned that I almost highlighted that first line for the Carolina Hurricanes. I'm going to highlight Andrei Svechnikov now because I do love him at this price of $5,800 in this matchup at home against Anaheim, but I even more so love targeting that number 1 power play for the Hurricanes tonight. They have truly been lights out as of late, scoring at a 53% rate in their last 9 games, and it just so happens that this Ducks team leads the NHL in minor penalties per game at 4.6, so we should see the Hurricanes on the power play a handful of times here tonight. But like I said, I wanted to highlight Svech in particular because he is playing great hockey right now. He started the season with just 4 assists in his first 8 games, but since then he's posted 9 goals, 13 assists, 22 points in his last 17 games. And I really wasn't loving the 4K range here tonight. I actually think the 3K range for forwards is offering more value, so I didn't dip into the 4K range here tonight, but we're getting close. Rickard Rakell here is priced at $5,000 tonight, playing for the Pittsburgh Penguins. At home, he's got a matchup against the Canucks, and after having just 4 assists in his first 18 games, he's posted 5 goals, 5 assists, 10 points in his last 9 games, really making the most right now of playing up on that first line with Crosby and Gensel, as well as playing on the Penguins' number 1 power play, which has started to play better here as of late. And look, this is a tougher spot at home against a good Canucks team, but there's some solid value here at this price, considering the opportunity he's getting. Now, moving on to the defensemen here, and I mentioned earlier that Rasmus Dahlin was actually put on the number 2 power play for the Sabres yesterday, so I like stacking him up with that second line that I highlighted earlier. He's priced at $6,900 here tonight, matchup at home against the Senators, which I talked about earlier, a very good spot for them, and he's just a very well-rounded defenseman who logs big minutes for this Sabres team. Should see him play around 24 minutes here tonight on their number 2 power play and the penalty kill. He's got 12 goals, 20 assists, 32 points in 40 games this year, and he's not afraid to shoot the puck, averaging 3 shots on net per game and averaging 2 block shots per game as well. The next guy I got here then is actually on the other side of that game. It's Thomas Chabot of the Ottawa Senators, priced at $5,500 here tonight. He's another very well-rounded defenseman who can rack up DraftKings points in a number of different ways. He has been on the IR a couple of times this year, but when he's been in the lineup, he's been very good, logging around 23 minutes per game, playing up on that Senators' number 1 power play. He's got 7 assists in 14 games while averaging close to 3 shots on net per game and 2.2 block shots per game. Now, going back to the idea of stacking up that number 1 power play for the Hurricanes tonight, wanted to highlight Brent Burns here at $4,900, an offensive defenseman who's got 8 goals, 15 assists, 23 points in 40 games, plays around 21 minutes per game, and on that Canes' number 1 power play, which is the primary target for me tonight. Like I said, this is a great spot for them at home against this Ducks team who leads the NHL in minor penalties per game. And then dipping into the 3K range of defensemen here, I'm going to go back to Timothy Liljegren of the Toronto Maple Leafs, priced at $3,600 here tonight in a matchup on the road against the Islanders. Since returning from IR, he's posted 1 goal, 6 assists, 7 points in 11 games. Not bad for a guy priced here in the 3K range, playing around 21 minutes per night, playing on the Maple Leafs' number 2 power play and getting time on the penalty kill. And I love that he's averaged 2.3 block shots per game as well. Definitely someone who's capable of getting 3 in a game and getting you that 3-point DraftKings bonus. And then I got a couple of goaltenders here for you. Now, obviously, with 26 different teams playing here tonight, there's quite a few goalies that I do like on this slate, but I wanted to highlight Kochetkov here, the Carolina Hurricanes, priced at $8,400 tonight in a matchup at home against the Anaheim Ducks. He didn't start the season very well, but has been very good as of late, with a 7-1-2 record in his last 10 games, a save percentage of .931, and a goals allowed average of 1.88, averaging 16 13.2 Draftkings points per game. And really, this Carolina Hurricanes team has been lights out defensively as of late, allowing just 2.10 goals per game in their last 10. And they're heavy home favorites here tonight at home against the Ducks, sitting on a money line of minus 345. And then I'm going back to Joey Daccord here, the Seattle Kraken, priced at $7,800 tonight on the road against the Washington Capitals. He has truly been lights out here as of late, going 8-0-2 in his last 10 games, save percentage of .957, goals allowed average of 1.38, averaging close to 24 DraftKings points per game. He just keeps bumping up on this number here, currently ranking 23rd out of 72 goalies and goal save above expected per 60. As I mentioned in my video on Tuesday, it's really just a matter of riding the hot hand right now, and I don't know if there's any goalie hotter than Joey Daccord right now. And as always, gonna wrap up this video here with 3 low-priced options or sub 4K forward plays. First guy that I got is Vladislav Namestnikov here of the Winnipeg Jets, currently priced at $3,900, playing on their second line and number 2 power play. I actually think that second line is another cheap line stack that we can roll out tonight if we're spending up elsewhere throughout our lineup, but Namestnikov has played well here as of late with 2 goals, 6 assists, 8 points in his last 7 games. I then got Dylan Guenther here of the Arizona Coyotes, priced at $3,800 tonight in a matchup at home against Calgary. He's currently playing on the third line and up on the number 1 power play, and he's only played 2 games this year in the NHL, but he has absolutely made the most of it in those games. Scored a goal in his first game, putting up 13 DraftKings points, followed up by his last game performance where he scored a goal, had an assist, 5 shots on net, and 24 DraftKings points. So obviously he's got some really nice upside, especially considering his price here in the 3K range. And then I'm willing to go back to Jake DeBrusk here once again. I know I've highlighted him quite a bit as of late, but he remains here in the 3K range, priced at $3,700 tonight, currently playing on the second line and number 2 power play for the Bruins, and he's just played some good hockey here as of late, scoring 5 goals, 4 assists, 9 points in his last 10 games. Alright everyone, that is going to wrap up this video here for today. As always, thank y'all for taking the time out of your day to watch the content here on this channel. If you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, I would greatly appreciate that. Let's have ourselves a great day here, folks. Let's win some money on this 13-game slate. And in the meantime, I'm out of here.